We're back. Here's a story from Iraq you may not have heard much about. The persecution of Christians at the hands of Islamic extremists. Christians in the regions of Iraq recently occupied by the radical Sunni group ISIS are being warned they have a choice: convert to Islam, pay a very steep price, or face death. And that was the message playing over loudspeakers in Iraq's second largest city, Mosul. ISIS launched a large-scale offensive last month and seized control of predominantly Sunni regions in Iraq with the ultimate goal of capturing Baghdad. Well, their offensive has crested for now, but Christianity, which came to Iraq in the 1st century A.D., remains under constant threat. Iraq was home to an estimated 1 million Christians prior to the 2003 U.S.-led invasion. But ever since, Christians have been the target of brutal violence, facing the bombing of their churches and the killing of their clergymen, forcing many to leave the country and leaving that community in Iraq to stand around half that size, 450,000, according to church officials. Now they're being purged altogether by ISIS. Jim Zogby is president of the Arab American Institute, and Bill O'Keefe is the vice president of government relations and advocacy for Catholic Relief Services. Jim, I guess you know me well enough to know that when I saw this story the other day, I leapt on it because it's something I didn't know about. What do you know about the actual day-to-day threats, life threats, death threats that we're getting, that the Christian community is getting in Baghdad, or actually anywhere in Iraq, from ISIS?
Well, the threats are mainly, obviously, in the Mosul region where ISIS is in control. At this point, there's such very few people of Christian faith in Mosul that the community has been literally down to it's a handful of people who are themselves being quite persecuted. And the stories we're getting from their families here in the States, it's a huge Christian Iraqi community here in the States, are horrifying. The villages that are under threat next are the villages north of Mosul. There are many Christians in the Kurdish region. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be safe. But the purging of Christians in the south is quite disturbing, and it goes back, as you noted in your intro, to the Iraq War itself, when this sectarian war, civil war of ethnic cleansing took place, with Christians, the most vulnerable, caught in the middle and paying the dearest price. And no one in this country, the entire Bush administration years of that war, never paid attention to the issue at all.
Bill, thanks for joining us. I went to school with an Iraqi Christian at Holy Cross, so we knew there was a Christian community there. And also, I think the Jesuits have been active over there as well with university-level teaching. What is the United States government doing to prevent this or to give any kind of protection to this small Christian community over there?
Well, Catholic Relief Services is on the ground in Iraq right now, as a matter of fact, and met just this week with officials from the U.S. government who are helping to plan relief operations. But Catholic Relief Services is already responding to the needs of the Christians who fled Mosul, many with just the clothes on their back. And these folks left. They had to cross checkpoints as they fled. And when they crossed those checkpoints, they were stripped of their possessions, their money, and even the rings off their fingers. We are there providing them with food, with basic cooking supplies, and basic hygiene supplies.
What is the attitude of regular people over there? I mean, regular Sunnis and Shia, regular other Arab people, to the Arab Christians? Do they see them as outsiders, or do they see them as people who have been there forever, for 2,000 years, well before there was Islam as a religion, a practiced religion?
Chris, the Christians in Mosul have been there for over 1,500 years. They're integral members of the community there. It's interesting, our staff on the ground told me this morning that the neighboring Sunni and Shia communities and other minority communities have been very generously receiving the Christians who fled from Mosul. So most of the people in Iraq are very tolerant of their Christian brothers and sisters, but ISIS and other extremist groups obviously don't share that perspective.
And that is the problem, is that these groups were unleashed during the Civil War period. They did not reflect the majority of the population in the country, and certainly ISIS doesn't reflect the Iraqi character or the Iraqi people. It is a thuggish gang of criminals not unlike some of the Mexican drug groups or some of the gang groups that exist in this country. This is a criminal outcast element that has adopted the language of Islam as their political ideology, but had nothing to do with the religion, and their co-religionists do not share their bigotry, their depravity, or their violence.
Is there anyone in the State Department or the White House who's looking out for the Christians in Arabia right now, Jim? Because you do this all the time, fight for that cause.
Yeah, there are those who do, but the leverage the United States has in a country like Iraq at this point is limited. I mean, clearly, we don't want to be supporting Prime Minister Maliki. He is part of the problem that has unleashed this sectarian violence. We have allies in the region that we ought to be empowering to do much more than they are doing. And I think, as Bill notes, I mean, the relief assistance that's required and is going to be required in the long run for the Iraqi Christian community. But the ultimate solution in Iraq, which is way down the road, is to create a government that represents the Iraqi people, all of them, in a non-sectarian state that is inclusive and tolerant. Yeah. And that we're a long way off from that, Chris.
We're trying to create a united America right here at home, if you haven't noticed. Here's an example of what's going on in cities like Mosul. One Christian resident over there who took his family and fled told the Associated Press, "We had to go through an area where they had set up a checkpoint." We just heard that. Islamic State group militants asked us to get out of the car. We got out. They took our things, our bags, our money, everything we had on us. I don't know what's going to happen to us. Our future is uncertain. Bill, what can people do in this country? Anything for this cause of helping these people out who are getting fellow religionists, in many cases, of Americans?
I think there's a lot that people here can do. Certainly they can support the Catholic Relief Services and other groups that are on the ground assisting those who have fled. They can also pay attention to the situation and encourage our government, the United States government, to engage in ways that are going to bring peace to that region and help bring the vision that Jim mentioned for an inclusive government to fruition, because that's really what needs to happen in the long run.
Well, we all have our loyalties, and mine are to the Christian community of the Arabian world so much. I feel that when I go to Jerusalem, I do care about those people. Anyway, especially since they've been there for 2,000 years. Thank you so much, Jim Zogby, my friend, and Bill O'Keefe. It's nice to meet you. Up next,